It will be very important to stay tuned to the latest updates in the days to come. Clouds weather starts now.
This is a Clouds Weather Alert.
Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center on this late Thursday, early Friday. I know you guys looking forward toward a lunar eclipse here later on in the night if you're watching with me live. But it's going to be a situation where we're really paying attention here out toward the west in the days to come. A very serious weather situation anticipated. We're going to have you covered every step of the way there on all the different platforms. Facebook there, Twitter/X, YouTube, Twitch there. And I know all those links available on cloudweather.com and the interactive radar available there too at cloudweather.com/radar. So very important to watch things here as we look ahead in toward the timeline. I'll be watching everything here for you as the situation does transpire here. It's just all about protecting you, your friends, and your family. But let's go ahead and right now kind of just look here at the Doppler technology. You don't see too much on the radar. There are still some lingering clouds here, but not near as many as we had earlier on. We actually had some severe thunderstorm warnings locally on that Thursday that we had to cover. But right now, a much clearer picture. We're going to have the storms come in, and it's going to be really warm first toward our local area, and then storms on Sunday here locally, and then we'll have somewhat of a cool down here in the ensuing days after that. But we're not going to really detail the forecast like we normally do tonight because of in terms of the actual temperatures and the 7-day, because our focus is on this very volatile setup off toward the west. A very significant situation here anticipated. There is grave concern about what could happen off toward the west here, my friends. We really need to be paying attention. See if these showers are off of Brevard County. I know there's going to be a rocket launch, hopefully, there on that Friday evening. It's scheduled there. A man missing toward space. But as we go ahead and show you some SPC outlook information, I know I'm going to show you a look at this as this stuff can update, here per se. So I didn't want to put a graphic together here for it since they might send out an update early. I kind of doubt it, but let's go ahead and switch on over here toward our other source. It's going to be available to you guys here on the screen in just a matter of seconds. And here you go. This is that day 2 convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center there in Norman, Oklahoma. And they're very, very concerned about that area in red there. Moderate 4 out of 5 risk is what we're looking at things. Toward parts of Missouri, eastern Missouri there. You see a little bit of Arkansas, a little bit of Iowa, but then a lot of Illinois, and that a little bit of Kentucky and Tennessee as well. Could have very significant one gust, hurricane force gust, in a lot of areas of possibility there. And then you have a hail potential in the hatch zone where it could be over 2 inches in diameter, even in spots, and then a tornado risk where we could in that enhanced area have some strong tornadoes, EF2 or greater in intensity, and these would be mainly at night. So this is not good already. It's going to get even worse here more than likely as we get north that Saturday across part of the country. That's why it's so important to have the latest updates here. Stay tuned to the very latest because this is a very big deal. It's going to be a matter of life and death here. You really don't want to be in a mobile home if you're under a tornado watch and or a tornado warning because things are very volatile in terms of the atmospheric characteristics of this, and we could really have big problems. You see an enhanced risk already there from Tallahassee up to areas there in North Georgia and western North Carolina even, where they don't need that after what happened with Helene. But all the way back to the west until you get to that and to the south, you see that red area. That's even moderate risk, and there's a decent possibility we end up having a high risk of severe weather out of this. A very decent possibility. We really need folks to be paying attention. This could be very bad. This could be a grave situation. I don't want to hype this up. Just, we don't do that here to just hype stuff up. I'm doing it because this could be very bad based on all the meteorology here. That red area, there are grave concerns. There's a hatched area that goes for a wide range. We could have significant severe weather. What I mean by that, 2-inch hail possibility, but then there's hurricane force wind gusts and those tornadoes with winds, in that very strong to violent type of rain. So what I mean by that, that red area, there's a decent chance we're going to have some. It could be quite a few EF2 or stronger tornadoes, and some of these could be EF3, EF4, and just the worst case scenario, an EF5 tornado cannot be ruled out if the parameters come together in just a very wrong way here. I hope not. It hadn't happened in over a decade, an EF5 tornado anywhere in the country. We had a slew of them there around 2011 or so, with Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Joplin, Missouri, and then we had more, going after that. But you haven't had any in a long time. But this, unfortunately, could be that period where we could end up having one of those that just completely takes away a building and all that's left is a slab. Even a well-built structure. That's why we're so concerned. You gotta be, taking this so serious. And even, I take my mobile homes where you may only take an EF1, even an EF0 if a tree falls on it to be deadly. In a more well-built structure, if you're in the right spot, even if you follow all the safety precautions here, an EF4, EF5 could be something that, in some cases may not be survivable. But granted, in a lot of these areas, not maybe as much south, but further north you have the basements, and that's something that you got to take advantage of. If not, you want to take advantage of a storm shelter. But really, our focus, it kind of is sad in some ways, in the idea of, we want everybody to stay safe, but we want to minimize the danger. And some of these tornadoes, they could just be so significant that you really need to have that baseball helmet on, because that might be your last line of defense here if your home goes. At least if you're getting out of the mobile home, you'll reduce your chances of something very bad happening. A lot of folks won't end up getting hit here by a tornado. Luckily, though, just overall, some folks will just get the winds that could still cause big problems, which obviously something here that could be very significant in a mobile home. So just keep that in mind. But that wind here, those tornadoes that'll be around, we just got to be really paying attention here. Just got to be really mindful of what could happen. Make sure you have multiple ways to get alerts here. A lot of folks won't get hit by a tornado just based on geography, because tornadoes, unlike a hurricane, you're going to have a lot of spots that are relatively unscathed, but other areas, you're going to have big problems here, very big problems, and you got to take precaution. You got to take the situation so seriously. You hope things aren't as bad as they look like they're going to be. And if you've been with me a while, I don't, want to be scaring you guys, obviously, but you got to be staying tuned for the latest, having multiple ways to receive alerts. You really don't want to be mobile home there if you can avoid it. Really serious situation. And then as we get a little bit further downstream here with this, I want to go ahead and jump back on over right now towards some more information. And we're just going to go ahead and do that here right now. So this is at day 3, which will be day 2 here pretty much as we look ahead. But into your day 4, convective outlook here, that shows a risk of severe weather lower, but still in play across a lot of our area here, including north central Florida. Much of that, Stark, Gainesville, under this here, a 15% risk, strong tornado threat. Be a lot lower with this. Not saying we couldn't have a rogue EF2 tornado, but it would be more about the wind here with this situation. Still could have some tornado warnings though, so you want to be practicing those tornado safety tips. But those ones where we could just have total devastation are a lot less likely in our area here on Sunday, in the yellow zone at least. In our further west counties, there's a chance of that for sure. I mean, when you go back here and look, we have that risk there of enhanced severe weather from Tallahassee westward. And that's really, we could have something more significant. Not saying, it's that likely that we'll have as strong of one as in the purple zone, though. But it's at least a possibility in the southwestern door to there as well. So, gotta pay attention here, folks. This is something with the weekend. A lot of folks, travel on spring break and play basketball, college basketball tournaments. This conference tournament to play. You really, really, really gotta pay attention. This is very serious. More so for our neighbors out west, but it does kind of seep into our area some as well. This is very serious. We could have a significant number of injuries and even some loss of life here if folks aren't paying attention. Again, if you've been with me long enough, I generally don't hype stuff up like this, but I'm very, very concerned. Our tornado parameters are off the charts into where these zones, even in Missouri here on Friday night, they're looking worse than they were. But just extraordinary concern here toward this part of the southeast there on that Saturday. Gotta be paying attention, gotta be taking action, gotta be acting very quickly to protect your life here in some of these instances. It's not good at all. But be taking those tornado precautions into play. I know, again, it's all quiet right now, but, we had some storms earlier, but it's the calm before the storm. The calm before the storm here as we look ahead. Just try to avoid taking a shelter in a mobile home. It's so important as we're looking at things here. Let's go back to the graphics. So right now you see quite a bit of rain toward like Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky next 7 days, but that's not the biggest story. The biggest story will be the tornado threat here, the winds, hail threat as well. Even there could be wildfires further out toward Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, because the winds will be so strong they're not going to get much rain here with this pressure, being so low. That wind setup is going to be significant, but it's not going to be, something where they're getting the rain out to the west, but could have wildfires on this Friday. But you can go to clutter.com/radar for an active look at things, whether they're on the air or not. And then as you look here, our covered area, we're always on for any tornado warning storm in the 62 counties, but we'll be on here for anything, that's really significant in the country here as well in the days to come. It's going to be as busy as it ever gets here in the Weather Center in the days to come, my friends. Facebook there, Twitter/X, YouTube, Twitch, keeping you guys up to date. I know clutter.com has all those links available, so be paying attention here. And another storyline, can get overlooked here, but there is some fog potentials. We're looking here in toward these morning hours for folks trying to get out and about. Even right now, we're actually seeing some fog down to a half-mile visibility with some dense fog toward Albany there in southwest Georgia. So just make sure you give yourself extra time to reach your destination. Make sure your vehicle is as visible as possible to other vehicles by using your low-beam headlights and leave plenty of room between you and the vehicle in front of you. So again, we have a lot going on. We're not going to go into the 7-day here tonight, but going to really warm up in that Saturday. We're going to be having 80s around here in terms of those highs before we have those storms on Sunday. And then as we look ahead, it'll cool down some after that for a bit as we're looking at things next week. Students at FSU going back to class, students at UF going on spring break here as we're looking at things and tracking them. So, again, a very, very busy picture here in the Weather Center. And let's see if we can put some model guidance up here right now. I want to pull up some model guidance. This is what it's going to be, what the radar could look like there as we get to around 4 o'clock on your Saturday. And I just got to turn off some things here that are showing the current views on some of these scenarios. But let me go ahead and go over here now. You can see what we're talking about. All these storms by themselves, a possibility depending on how much instability we have. And tornado parameter scenario that we could see. This is 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on a Saturday afternoon. We could have many tornadoes in progress potentially with isolated storms. A real problem here again as we're watching things. And then it's going to go and pull up the tips again because I'm gonna go back on this run here. And I just want to show what it's showing for areas there in Missouri. As we look ahead, this is going to be a look at 11 p.m. Central Time on your Friday night. So that's to look at the HRRR. We could have storms by themselves there, and we could have tornadoes maybe in southeast Missouri and southern and central Illinois, maybe in western Kentucky. Some of this could be tornadic activity. Some of it could be more about the wind. So it's going to be a big problem here as we look. And this stuff, this is going to be a lot of this at night. So I can go ahead and progress this here. And this may not be just a perfect representation. No model ever is. But you see this stuff going across Tennessee, Kentucky in the night. And even Alabama. And then eventually some of that will kind of fizzle way into the night. Some of this, could help to make things not quite as bad during the day if it hangs around too long there after like early on sunrise. But then things could just refire very quickly once again, and then they start moving closer toward our neck of the woods here. And this is a different run, but this takes you to about I know our high-res models aren't going out right close toward our area yet because it's too far out, but this is around 5 a.m. Sunday morning Eastern Time, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. One representation of what could happen is we're going to be very busy here in the Weather Center, no doubt. So be paying attention. Take those tips into account. If you live in a mobile home, even in the Wardour area, especially, Tallahassee, Albany areas, west, give or take, you really want to be in a scenario here where you can find safer shelter, because this could be just too dangerous. Could be just too dangerous here as we look ahead in that type of structure. So again, very, very serious as we look at all the models. We're just trying to keep you up to date here. Cloud weather, trying to keep you safe and informed here with these adverse weather conditions. The story, just please be paying attention here. It could be, depending on preventing injury here as we look ahead and toward the timeline. This could be one of those situations that we never forget here in the meteorology world. So hopefully not. Hopefully things aren't as bad as they look, but definitely could be very serious here in the days to come. The meteorology is promoting, and showing very significant concern. Likely will be the storyline as we look ahead. So that's going to wrap it up for now. Stay safe. We'll be back here late Friday, no doubt, with updates and coverage. As conditions warm out toward the Midwest and streaming things, whether we're having to actually talk through some of it, maybe we'll, not have it quite as bad at points, but it's Saturday, Sunday here locally. We're going to have potential problems, so please stay tuned, stay safe. I'll be back here in the days to come to keep you guys informed on the latest weather developments.